Money FM 89.3, the best of the afternoon update. The Afternoon Update with Lynlee Foo.
Money FM 89.3. Now, when we talk about making our economy greener, we often think about solar panels or electric cars. But there's another piece of the puzzle that gets far less attention: the specialty chemicals that quietly make so much of this possible. They're the reason waste cooking oil from hawker stalls can become biodiesel. They're behind the omega-3 supplements on our shelves, and they even play a role in the medicines we depend on. Recently, Singapore reached a milestone. It became home to Southeast Asia's first world-scale alkoxides facility, producing the chemical catalysts that drive all of these transformations. So what does this mean to the region? And what does it tell us about the bigger trends shaping sustainable manufacturing? Joining me is someone right at the center of this development, Lauren Kjeldsen, Chief Operating Officer of Evonik's Custom Solutions Division and a member of the Executive Board. Lauren, welcome to Industry Insight.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
To start us off, this plant is clearly significant for Singapore, but what I'd like to know is what bigger industry trend is driving this move? Why now and why here in Southeast Asia?
Yeah, so what we see right now in Asia is a rapidly advancing biofuel blending mandates. And we see that coming from Indonesia. We see it also developing quite steadily in India. And basically, it's about replacing traditional diesel fuels with biofuels. And these blending mandates continually increase the percentage of which you can blend the biofuels. And so it's really important for Evonik to be here in the region, as this is a key location to be able to service Southeast Asia and this dynamic in Asia.
Okay. So in a way, the plant isn't just about capacity, right? It's about positioning where the future demand will be.
That's true. So it's important, of course, to have a regional footprint. But at the end of the day, we also want to match up with the industry momentum in Singapore. They've announced, of course, the Green Plan of 2030. And Evonik also has a climate neutral operations model. And this match makes a perfect fit that if we're going to build our assets, which are scope 1, scope 2, capable to operate with zero CO2 emissions, that we're partnered up with an industry and a setup in our production facility with a nation that's also driving the same common goals.
Okay. Now let's get into more detail. Most people may not know the word alkoxides, but they'll understand this. These are the catalysts that turn used cooking oil into biodiesel and even into feedstocks for sustainable aviation fuel. So how does this reflect the wider circular economy trend we're seeing in Asia?
Yeah, so it's a good point, or a good leading point to work with, is about the used cooking oil. So basically, by using these alkoxides, you're able to esterify this cooking oil, and then that can dual-fold be used again in fuel applications. And this drives a circular economy. At the beginning of the cycle, a lot of these materials are made from renewable raw materials, so growing plants that absorb CO2 from the atmosphere to grow. So this is how this kind of circular renewable model works. In addition, we're able to use these types of materials in complex APIs, so advanced pharmaceutical ingredients, where you either use the alkoxide as a building block or that you're able to use the alkoxides to purify the materials coming out, that you get a high purity active ingredient that eventually you're going to be using or consuming for a health concern that you have. And lastly, these applications are growing in areas of cleaning the production for materials that go into feed additives or vitamins or even into fresh food grade oils that you buy off the shelf. So then you can see these food grade oils again, the same type of catalysts to be able to be used as renewable fuels in diesel supplements.
Oh, fascinating. The oil from last night's fried noodles could eventually help fuel tomorrow's transport and other things as well. So it's really about creating value from waste. And I love how that's becoming central to how industries think about sustainability. Now, Lauren, Singapore isn't always the cheapest place to manufacture, but you've called this living lab for advanced manufacturing and green chemistry. So what makes Singapore stand out?
So first of all, there is a thriving ecosystem here. So the regulators and the government officials here in Singapore are working focused on that, making sure that as the industrial partners that come here with focused objectives are able to find that ecosystem. So it's done with a lot of partnership. And at the end of the day, Singapore puts the regulatory environment around innovation. So really putting incentives towards innovation and also towards continuing to develop an industrial production capabilities in Singapore. So if you combine that all together, it attracts talent. It attracts then also talent on the areas of AI and digitalization. And with this continued focus, we find a real good home here in Singapore for reaching out to not only Southeast Asia, but all of Asia for our production capabilities.
Wow. So Singapore is becoming more than just a location. It's really part of the innovation strategy.
Absolutely. I mean, one other comment I can add to this is that we've been producing now in Singapore for years. We have multiple production facilities here, and it's a trusted partner. So it's fair in the dealings, and it's been a really consistent partner for us over the last decades. And this sets a trusting foundation in a very neutral environment for us to reach out to our partners in the region.
Just for the benefit of our listeners, where is this plant?
So we're producing this new manufacturing facility is on Jurong Island.
Okay. Well, you've got everything you need there. I think, suppliers, utilities, logistics. Jurong Island is unique that way.
Sure is.
Okay, Lauren, this is your first visit to Asia since joining Evonik's executive board earlier this year?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it is my first visit to Asia since my new role. Yes.
Wow. So from a leadership perspective, how do you see Asia fitting into the company's long-term growth, especially when it comes to sustainability?
Yeah, so Evonik is pretty clear on our aim to have balanced representation in the major regions. So our objective is to have 1/3 of our business represented out of Asia. Asia has a lot of opportunities. We see a lot of movement towards sustainable business models in the future. So it's important for us to be here in Asia. And how we've approached it in the past is not just to come with a production facility, but to come with also our capabilities and build up local capabilities to continue to address the fast-moving needs of the region and to be close to it and make sure that we're being able to provide the solutions for our customers then to differentiate themselves in the future. So it's an important region for us, and we continue to put resources and build our capabilities here.
Okay. I'm just wondering about talent development and partnerships as well. What's in the pipeline for now, if you can share with us?
So with regards to talent development, we are looking at also merging the capabilities between AI into the areas of chemistry. So this was where we spent a decent amount of discussions in the last hours here in Singapore. Some of the capabilities that we work on developing in biotechnology require a real leap forward in efficiency. And we see the potential here by merging AI with our know-how that we can bring more biotechnology solutions to the market, and we will require the talent around that. And we see elements of that right here in Singapore.
All right. Talking about potential, Lauren, if you look 5 to 10 years ahead, what do you see as the next frontier for specialty chemicals in Asia?
Yeah, so I would say we focus on 3 main areas. We talked a little bit about circularity right now. This was a bit about renewable materials. We also look at alkoxides playing a role in depolymerization, so breaking polymers then back down into its monomers so that you're not downcycling, but you're actually able to get the building blocks back out again to build high-value products. And this is another area that will continue to develop in the area of circularity. That's closing the loop on plastic usage, right? So that once you put it into use, you can keep that carbon in the value chain. So that's a bit on circularity. Then we look on the areas of energy transformation. And what we see, of course, leading in Asia is technologies on batteries. We also see areas on carbon capture and storage, but also a decent amount in the hydrogen economy with our applications in membranes. And lastly, then we have the biotechnology side, which is really about life sciences and where health and human well-being is at the heart of what we do, and providing more scientific solutions to these challenges in health and well-being is the other area that we will see grow here in Asia.
Okay. Before I let you go, Lauren, how do you see Asia's demand for sustainable fuels evolving compared to Europe or the US?
Yeah, so geographically, the materials that are grown here are very diverse from renewable purpose, from a renewable aspect. And with that diversity, it basically brings in leadership in the area of bio-based fuels. So we see a strong leadership position in that just based on the ecosystem that's here. And in this case, I refer to the ecosystem being what's able to be grown and harvested here. We see a leadership, we see the mandates continually increasing. So if we're able to accomplish 35% blend, why not push it up to 40% blend and continuing to see demand there? We also see initiatives coming out in advanced aviation fuels. And we'll also work on technologies to make sure that those initiatives here in Southeast Asia, that Evonik has a role in enabling those applications.
Right, and that really underlines how it takes more than just one facility or one company, right? It's the leadership, the ecosystem, and those policy signals like higher blend mandates and advanced fuels all moving in the same direction that make the difference. Thank you so much, Lauren, for sharing your insights with us this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me.
And she is Lauren Kjeldsen, Chief Operating Officer of Custom Solutions and member of the Executive Board at Evonik. You've been listening to Industry Insight only on Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.